A day after the Inspector General of Police, Mohammed Adamu, revealed that from January to May 2020, 717 rape incidents have been reported to the police across Nigeria. Resolutions against incidents of sexual abuse and other forms of violence have been made by the police and other heads of relevant agencies in Abuja. Of late, there have been rising incidents of rape occasioned by the COVID-19 pandemic lockdown. Some of the victims who have lost their lives to rape and other forms of gender-based violence include 22-year-old Vera Waila Omozua, 19-year-old Barakat Bello, 21-year-old Grace Oshiagu, and the list is endless. The IGP said about 799 suspects have been arrested, 631 cases conclusively investigated and charged to court, 57 persons convicted of rape, 52 cases are left under investigation.
The issue of rape, sexual offenses, and gender violence has become a very serious issue now in this country, especially during this lockdown because of the COVID-19. We've seen cases where students, minors, another group of women and children were raped, and thanks with the effect of the social media, a lot of these cases were made known to members of the public.
The question on the lips of many is, why has sexual violence become the order of the day? However, as part of efforts to curb this dastardly act, the police and other relevant agencies have found a common ground against rape, child molestation, trafficking in persons, and other sexual and gender-based violence.
The victims are the victims. The blame should be shifted to the perpetrators and not the victims. So we need to re-strategize and put it back on the perpetrator now. The naming and shaming is now going back to the perpetrator. And I'm happy with the sex offenders register, because all those who have committed the crime of rape, they will have their names there. Those who are convicted, the names will be open for everyone. But those that are not convicted but are arrested, the names will be open on special application.
At the end of the tripartite meeting of the police chief with heads of National Agency for the Prohibition of Trafficking in Persons and the National Human Rights Commission held at the force headquarters, these were amongst the 12 resolutions made. Resolution 2. The police and NAPTIV are strengthening the capacity of their investigators to undertake comprehensive investigation, arrest, and successful prosecution of the perpetrators, as well as extension of support to victims of sexual and gender-based violence in order to stabilize psychologically and otherwise. Resolution 4. The Nigerian Police Force is working with NAPTIV to collate and supply necessary data and statistics on rape and other sexual offenses for inputs into the National Sexual Offenders Register. Resolution 11. The leadership of the police, NAPTIV, and the NHRC calls on prospective employers of labor to conduct thorough background checks on individuals to be employed, particularly those whose job descriptions involve working with children and other vulnerable persons, to ensure that prospective employees with criminal records and propensity for sexual offenses are not employed to sensitive positions.
From experience now, it's always very difficult to prove cases of rape and sexual and gender-based violence. Apparently, when these laws were being made, they were made by a male-dominated parliament. And there is need now to bring the gender lens into it, to bring the gender perspective into it.
Children of 12 years and below have been reportedly raped by young and old adults. Most of these acts are not reported. Parents, guardians, teachers, religious and traditional leaders, and all other persons actively involved in the socialization processes have been told to inculcate in their children, wards, and followers proper and appropriate sex educations and values. This is believed to help control and reduce to the barest minimum incidents of these menace in the country. One may beg to ask, what would make a person rape a defenseless infant? Who should be blamed for the rape and molestation of a 3-month-old baby? What stiffer punishment should be meted out to the rapists?